Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. That is for my returning viewers. If you're new here, hi, my name is Hadley. I'm an aspiring singer-songwriter and I post music-related content on Mondays and other content on Thursdays. So welcome, I hope you decide to stick around. So today, this is a Thursday video, meaning it's not music-related content, but today I just wanted to do kind of a little sit down and chat video. I saw one of my big inspirations for YouTube. Her name is Ali. I talked about her before, but I'll put her little YouTube right here. I saw her do a video, she just sit down and gave some advice. So that's what I wanted to do in this video. And if you are a returning viewer and you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I am a freshman in college, and college has been a really great experience for me. And I feel like I have a lot of advice to give for people who want to go to college. So that's what this video is. If this video does well and if people enjoy it, or maybe even just because I like making it, this might be like a series of college advice because I kind of have a lot I wanted to cover. First things first, the topic of this video is my advice for applying to college. So I know that college application season can be really rough and really stressful. But I have some advice to kind of help get through that. And I know college application season is coming to an end pretty soon in the next few months, but I was able to apply to colleges till April, so some people still got time. And this video is also great for any juniors who want to start thinking about colleges early, or even just any students in high school in general. So the first little subcategory in the big broad topic of applying to colleges is picking which colleges you want to go to. So choosing a college can be really hard, especially in the United States. There are so many different great colleges and universities, or just universities in general, that offer so many different majors. So choosing can be really hard, but I have some advice. Now, I did not start thinking about colleges that I wanted to go to until my senior year. So if you don't know yet, that's okay. It took me so long to decide if I even wanted to go to college, and now I'm at an amazing school with an amazing major that I love so much, and so I think that I can kind of help out with this one. For me, when deciding what schools I wanted to go to, the first thing I thought of was location. That is a big thing. This is where you're gonna live for the next 4 years of your life, and you have a lot of options for where you would want to move to. You got to keep in mind money, if you want to be close to family, the weather, all of these different things. So what I decided for a location, or how I figured out the location for mine, was I just picked a bunch of different places that I would want to live in. And so that for me was Colorado, California, New York, and North Carolina. And I live in North Carolina. And I was originally from Colorado. So those were how I wanted to do that. And living in California or New York would have been really good for the degree that I want to have. So those were kind of my options. For picking where you want to go, I would definitely think, if you know what you want to major in, look for places where you might succeed in the industry there. If you don't know what you're major in, no worries. Pick a place where you might want to live. Pick somewhere that maybe you visited and you really like. Decide if you want to stay in state, just get some basic options for location, and you've already narrowed down your college search by a ton. After you pick some locations for where you might want to go to college, there's a couple of things you can do next. This part is going to be for my people who know what they want to major in, but I'll talk about people who don't know what they want to major in a second. So if you know what you want to major in, start looking for schools in those locations that you that would have a good thing for your major. So I googled top 10 schools for singer-songwriter or popular music majors, and it gave me a top 10 list, and some of the schools on there were in New York and Colorado and California. So I already had 3 schools that I wanted to apply to because they had programs that I wanted to do. You can also just look for if you know a state and then you also know a specific city you want to go into, just start looking through colleges in those cities, in those areas. For New York, I knew I wanted to go, if I was going to move to New York, I wanted to be in New York City. So I searched New York City colleges, and I just went through every single one and looked through the list of majors that was posted on the website and saw if they had anything that I wanted. And for me, my major is really specific, so that kind of narrowed down a lot of things for me. But if you wanted to go in something business, maybe that might be a little bit harder, but you can just look for like maybe best business schools in the state and pick a few from that list. You also, if you have a really specific major like me, you might want to look for schools that have something that you might also be interested in case you can't find or can't get into a really good school that has a super specific major. Like I wanted to get into like popular music and singer-songwriting, which is a really slim thing at colleges because most colleges focus on jazz or classical music. So I also looked into musical theater and acting because that's also a really big thing that I'm into, and that helped me put some colleges on my list. Now for my people who don't know what they want to major in, what I would recommend is once you know locations that you might want to apply to, start looking for schools that have a really good program for undecided majors. For example, my school has an amazing program called the exploratory major where you can take classes from all different majors and then you get to decide on your own time what major you want to go into, and it's a great way to just try out everything. So I would definitely look for schools that have that kind of thing, that are very supportive of their undecided students. Like don't go to a school that's like you can't go in undecided. You should go to a school where you can go into an undecided. And if you're undecided about your major, some more things later in the video are going to definitely be more helpful in picking colleges as well. After you have kind of some colleges on your list, my list originally was like 10 to 12 colleges, which you really don't want to be applying to that much. Like if you end up deciding that that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine, but it does cost more money to apply to more colleges. So definitely look and see if any states have like free application weeks, because that might help. Okay, so now once you've compiled a really big list, I also put some safeties on my list, which safeties for me were colleges in my state that I knew I would get into. So at least put one on your list just in case. So then I had a really long list, and then narrowing it down. For me, what really helped in narrowing it down was visiting places. So my family and I went on a trip to New York City, and we kind of looked around NYU, which was a college on my list, and we just like stayed in New York for like a couple of days, and I realized that I didn't really want to go to school there, because as much as New York City is this like big glamorous life, it just didn't seem like it was for me. I didn't really enjoy being there, and it was also going to be really, really cold, and I do not like the cold. So if you can, visit as many schools as possible, because that will definitely help you narrow down your options. Another thing for me was I put a bunch of schools on that list because I just wanted to live in that area, or I heard it was a good school, but I wasn't really interested in the major. That was the same thing with NYU, is they didn't really have anything popular music-wise, and the only thing I thought I could do there was music business, so I ended up taking it off the list. Next is money. You really want to look at the school's tuition and decide with you and your family if that's something that you can afford or if it's worth spending for your major. That was a big thing for me, was I wanted to go to a private school, which was very, very expensive, and I also did not get in, but I likely wouldn't have been able to afford to go anyway if I had got admitted. So that is a very, very, very big thing, because college debt can be really bad. At this point, it's really time to start applying. So what I did for applications was I spent a lot of time on my Common App essay, and I really don't think I have the best advice about writing it, because I wrote 3 different essays till I finally found one, and I don't know how much my essay really did in getting me into schools, but I just wrote, I wanted to be a music major, so I wrote about music. I wrote about how important my guitar is to me, and kind of used it as a symbol for many things in my life, and I thought that that was pretty well written. So definitely go for something more unique. Don't write about like sports, and try to keep religion out of it, because you also never know, unless you're applying to like a Christian school or Mormon school, then maybe, but like you never know who's going to be reading your essay. So I would just be careful about anything really controversial, and I don't feel like I'm the best to give advice about essays, but there's definitely other people on YouTube who are, so you can go look for them for advice on that. Other than that, applying, just make sure you know your deadlines and you stay on top of them. If you want to apply early action, early decision to these schools, you have to be on top of the deadlines. For me, I did not apply early action or anything. I just applied regular decision for all my schools, because I was so far behind in the process that I didn't even get the chance to, I wasn't done writing my essay by the time the early action deadlines were done, which was okay for me because I ended up getting into a school that I really, really like. Also, if you're like me and you're going into the arts, make sure that you know audition dates and audition deadlines, because those are going to be huge. And if you miss those, you might not be able to go to the school, and you might have to go, you can still go to the school and then audition like next year, but you don't want to miss those deadlines, so keep those in mind as well. I think a really big thing for applying is having good recommendation letters. I unfortunately got a very, very bad recommendation letter from a teacher who I thought would be a great resource, and it turns out she wasn't. And I really think that some of the reasons why I got rejected from some of the schools I applied to is because of my recommendation letter. It's just really unfortunate that that happened to me, but definitely make sure that you know who's writing your letter and that you really can trust them, because you just never know. So just be wary of those, get really good recommendations if you can. That's all I really would say for applying. With grades and stuff, already by the time that you're applying for schools, there's not really much you can do, but definitely if you can get those, if you're a younger high schooler watching this, definitely get involved immediately, because the sooner you start thinking about college, the better. If you already have a dream college you want to go to, start looking at what they require and start doing those things. My sister really wants to go to UNC Chapel Hill, which I applied to and did get rejected from. My sister's already doing so many extracurriculars and so many clubs, and she's a sophomore in high school, so she's thinking way more ahead than I did. If I didn't really want to go to Chapel Hill, but if I did, I would have not gotten in, and it would have been really disappointing. If you can start early, definitely start early, getting those grades and extracurriculars. I think that's all I really have to say about applying. My next thing is it's my major thing for my undecided majors, but this is also goes for anybody. It's the same thing about visiting the location, like in New York City, but go on college tours. If you've applied to colleges and you have your full list complete, start signing up for tours. If you can go visit out of state, do it. Like, touring is the most important thing, I think, for any college decision, because it helped me make mine. After I applied to my colleges and I got some really hard rejections from schools I really wanted to go to, I really only had 2 options left, one of which I did not want to go to the school. I kind of was like, this school doesn't matter to me, I don't care if I get in. And I had this other school in Colorado, and I was like, okay, like, this is probably where I'm going to go. So my family and I, we took a trip to Colorado. We were there visiting friends, but we also took the chance to tour that college that I had applied to, tour the music school, get to know some things about the school, and afterwards I decided I didn't want to go there. That was my number one choice, and after touring the school, it was not for me. The campus, I didn't really find the campus attractive aesthetically, which was something kind of important to me, and the dorms were pretty small, pretty crappy, and it's also really cold. Colorado's freezing, and we were there in winter, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, this is not for me. So touring the college really helped me realize that it wasn't the right thing. And this other college that I was like, oh, I don't really want to go to, like, this is just a last whim, I went and toured that college. The campus, I fell in love with the campus immediately. And I saw the dorms, fell in love with the dorms, I fell in love with the energy. I got a tour of the music school. I thought it was all awesome. And that was the school I decided on, the one that I didn't even want. That's another big piece of advice. If you apply to school and you're not really sure that you want to go there, don't just not put your energy into it. Put equal amounts of energy into every school that you apply to, because you never know where you're going to end up. Like, for this school, I was really not even caring about the music audition process. I was like, oh, like, I guess I could go in person, but like, I don't want to drive all the way over there. Like, I'll just do a virtual thing. And then there were so many schedule conflicts, and I almost probably didn't even get admitted into the school. But luckily, I was admitted based on my audition videos, not even like a face-to-face audition. So I'm so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful that I got admitted into that school after not really putting that much energy into it, because that's where I ended up going. Never throw something out of the park. Put the same energy into everything, and tour your campuses, especially my undecided majors. Like, if you don't know what you want to do for your major, the campus is going to be huge. You don't want to be somewhere you don't want to go somewhere that you're not gonna like, because so many people transfer colleges, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you can get it right the first time, might as well try to. Another big thing with kind of the location is student life. That's kind of with the dorms and everything, but you also got to keep in mind like dining halls, activities. Like if you're a really big sports person, you want to make sure that the school you're going to has lots of sports events and things like that. And it's also like campus amenities, like if they have a gym on campus, like do you want to go swimming? Do they have a pool on campus? Like what do students do in their everyday to day life? You just really want to look into that too, because if that's something really important to you, then that should be a factor of that should be something you consider. Like the school that I go to has a gym and a pool, and I really wanted to make it a goal of mine to go swimming. So I was really happy that they had a gym and a pool there. And also the food was a really big factor. Like when I went to the school in Colorado, I was like, their dining hall is not great. And then I went to visit the school I go to, and I was like, oh, their dining hall is better. Like, so just keep in mind all factors of like student life too, because that's really important. Now it's time to make your decision. For me, my decision was really easy because I got rejected from the schools that I wanted to go to. That like that I really liked. And so what I was left with was kind of my safeties, and then the 2 schools in Colorado versus here that I go to. So for me, it was a very easy decision, but I know it's not the same for everybody. If you got into multiple schools that you really wanted to go to multiple of them, making this decision is going to be hard. That's where you really have to narrow it down. Like money is going to be a huge thing. If you're perfectly equal with 2 schools and one costs way more, you might want to go to the cheaper one. And that goes with everything, like campus life, all that. Just really, really weigh your pros and cons, because making a decision can be really, really hard. You're always able to transfer, so keep that in mind, but you might not get in a second time, so it's just kind of like, this is a big decision for you, and you want to make sure that you make the one that is going to be the best for you in the long run. Another thing with location is you got to decide if you want to be close or far away from home. That was another thing that deterred me away from the Colorado school, is how far away I was going to be from home. And now I go to a school that's an hour and a half away. It's not right on top of where I live, but it is a good distance where I can come home if I need to. Another school I was going to apply to is only 30 minutes away, and I would not have wanted to go there, which is one of the reasons why I took it off my list. So just keep in mind that as well. Like, do you want to live close to home? Do you want to live far? Do you want to be able to come back during weekends, or are you only going to come back on breaks? Like, that's just another thing for you to think about. Applying to college can be really, really stressful and really, really hard, but you've got this. For me, I was like, there's no way I'm going to get all my applications done in time. There's no way I'm going to be able to make the shift from high school to college. Like, it's all too overwhelming. But just take a deep breath. Everything is going to be okay. Everything works out. And the school that you decide on is probably going to have plenty of things that'll help you on board and get used to the environment before you even start there. So everything is going to be fine, especially during the application season. Just manage your time, spend like maybe an hour a day working on applications, because I know that they can be a lot, but make sure that you're also prioritizing your schoolwork, because that does matter too. But just know that you'll be okay in the end. Prioritize the deadlines that are coming up quicker, and then focus on the ones later. Like for me, I had a school I didn't have to apply till April, so that school obviously wasn't a priority for me during a really stressful time, so I set it off. So just keep in mind where your priorities should be at, and you're gonna be okay. You're gonna apply to schools and you're gonna pick the right one. And I hope that this video will help someone in their really difficult decision of applying to schools. And I want to make more series about college, like specifically about what it's like to move in, how to deal with roommates, like stuff about changing your whole entire environment, just talking about like getting involved. So let me know if you want me to do more on this. I can also do a video on what I think you should bring. I did buy a bunch of stuff from Amazon, and there's a video with that, like my huge haul, if you want to watch it, and I can make a video reflecting on all of it and what I think you should bring, what I think doesn't need to be come with you, just all those types of things. So just let me know if you want more parts to this kind of sit down talking about college series, because I really like talking about college and I really love my school and I really love my major, and anything I can do to just talk about it and be involved with other people's college decisions, like, I love to do. So let me know if you guys want more of this and if you find any of this helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching this Thursday's video, and I will see you next Monday for another Music Monday. Bye!